Do you remember the very first video game you ever played? I'm talking the absolutely definitively very first time you picked up a computer mouse, controller, or perhaps even a handheld. I honestly don't. But I do remember some of the first few. And one of the earliest games I ever remember playing, and I'll never forget because the imagery was burned into my brain. I'm of course talking about Nanosaur. This is a game I never remember the name of, but if you showed me even a quarter of a screenshot, I would immediately know what game you were talking about. This game is unforgettable, maybe just because it was one of my first, well, that's probably exactly why, but I wanted to double check if I remembered this game just because of nostalgia, or maybe, just maybe, there's some elements here that actually end up creating a good game. What are the odds of that? Slim, I'd say at best, but there's a chance. And lucky for me, that brings me to the point of today's video, to spread news that Nanosaur is playable in 2023.
Yay!
Yes, that's right. All you Nanosaur super fans rejoice. This masterpiece is back. Downloadable and crazy easy to just jump into. I literally just downloaded it, extracted it, and ran nanosaur.exe. The link you need will be first thing in the description of this video. It is optional to donate to the project to keep servers up if you would like, or you could just download it for free on Windows or Mac. I found out that Bugdom is also available here, but we're saving that roly-poly for another video. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into a Nanosaur. Arrow keys are to move, spacebar to shoot. I'll learn the rest as I go. I immediately ended up glitching my first playthrough and broke my gun, so it just auto-fired, wasted all of my ammo, so I had to restart. Wasn't a big deal, didn't waste too much time. Maybe it's just nostalgia goggles, but I still think this game looks awesome. This world is absolutely dripping with style and atmosphere. The fog acting as render distance adds to the traversal effect of the world and tension when turning corners looking for a T-Rex to slowly unveil itself. But back to the gameplay, we see a couple egg silhouettes in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, letting us know we probably need to collect these. But why are we collecting these? It's a bit convoluted, but I did do a ton of research for this video and actually found out the storyline. So you see, the Nanosaur 2 instruction manual can be found online as a PDF and explains the story thus far as this. The year is 4122 and a species of dinosaurs known as the Nanosaurs rule the Earth. Genetic experiments by human beings brought the Nanosaurs back from extinction, gave them intelligence, but a plague wiped out the humans, so now Nanosaurs built a society of their own. However, genetic inbreeding among the Nanosaurs was beginning to pose a threat to their society, so a lone Nanosaur was sent 65 million years into the past to retrieve the eggs of their ancestors. The plan was to incubate the retrieved eggs and hope they would hatch into new breeding stock. This is the plot of Nanosaur 1. But more nefarious elements of the Nanosaur society had other plans for these eggs. A rebel group of Nanosaurs bent on the domination of planet Earth stole most of the eggs and took them to the rebel-controlled planets with environments suitable for breeding dinosaurs. Their goal is to turn these hatchlings into warrior drones who will fight in their uprisings to take over the Earth. One of the remaining eggs was hatched to form a new Nanosaur, and using wormhole technology based on the time portals used to retrieve the eggs previously, this hatchling was sent on a mission to retrieve the stolen eggs and destroy rebel bases. Alright, so what does all that mean? In short, in Nanosaur 1, we are a lone Nanosaur sent to the past to retrieve eggs to incubate and hopefully prevent the inbreeding problem. The entire plot of Nanosaur 1 is all about stopping inbreeding. What a beautiful children's storyline. And then in Nanosaur 2, it seems like some bad guy Nanosaurs steal most of the eggs that we gathered in Nanosaur 1, so in Nanosaur 2, we control one of those eggs that didn't get stolen, was able to hatch into a healthy Nanosaur, and our job is then to invade the bad guy Nanosaur's bases and steal the eggs back. I don't know why we were able to hatch, but our brothers and sisters' eggs haven't been able to hatch, and now we have to go rescue them. I don't know why they're sending a child Nanosaur versus an adult Nanosaur. I don't know. It's all very convoluted, interesting, just a great story altogether. Now, as I was doing my wiki reading and my sort of internet browsing about Nanosaur, I was curious if this game had any sort of speedrun scene. Games actually, Nanosaur 1 and 2 are both listed on speedrun.com. There are 3 top runs that exist for easy any %, and there are 7 runs that exist for extreme any %. Not a crazy amount of runs being done, but all of these times are actually quite competitive, with first and second place for extreme any percent literally being tied down to the second, sitting both of them at 3 minutes and 26 seconds. It's no Super Mario 64, but it has a respectable small scene, in my opinion. Maybe one day I'll even throw my hat into the ring. Back to the game, I find myself looking over the controls in the Nanosaur 2 documents I mentioned earlier because it's all I can find. Shift should activate my jetpack, but it doesn't because this is a Mac game ported to Windows, so I'm trying to discover the controls for myself. It took me way too long to figure out that Alt is how to jump. You can jump once and shoot still in the air, or double jump and not be able to shoot but gain more distance. That's surprisingly interesting and dynamic game design. You can collect different types of weapons and change the ammo with shift. Control seemingly bends your neck down for no reason. I thought this was a reload button for a while, but that wouldn't make any sense since your weapon seems to not need a reload. I later found out that this is how you pick up and put down the eggs we're collecting. So I end up traversing and eventually find an egg, and once you do, you follow the compass on the bottom middle part of the screen to put it in a transporter to safety. There seems to be different areas and biomes where the eggs reside, and I end up finding the lava/volcano area where I know thousands of dead Nanosaurs must reside because I remember this place vividly from when I was a child. Talk about striking environments. Why is this game so goddamn good? The control scheme is surely dated, but the gameplay? This feels like a fantastic platformer. Your character, or Nanosaur, does seem to have a little bit of slide and drift when moving or landing, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that can be a preference choice even. It's definitely a little clunky, but still astoundingly responsive and satisfying to move and jump overall. I do have to admit, I have no idea how those speedrunners beat this game in under 4 minutes. I scramble around for 20 minutes, dying many times and using all of my lives while only collecting 2 out of 5 eggs in the process. There seems to also be a 20-minute timer where a meteor destroys the planet if you don't collect the eggs in time. I don't know if this was intended or not, but that 20-minute timer was perfect for trading off sessions between siblings when playing this game as a child. Nanosaur was really trying to cut down on those "mom said it's my turn on the Xbox" moments, and I'm sure parents really appreciated that. This video was just meant to be a short nostalgia blast where I say, hey, do you remember this game? Haha, crazy, right? You can still download it and play today. But I am goddamn loving this game, and now I'm determined to beat it, so the show must go on. I load up another round, and this was the result. I learned a lot this run. I realized you're looking for different colored eggs from different species, and that the levels aren't quite as open world as I expected. You see, I was traversing the initial zone, getting the egg there, and then moving on to the lava zone, doing that egg, but then coming back to the initial zone, as I thought that would act as sort of a hub. But I was entirely wrong. It's much more of a linear path that they want you to follow. If you go all the way through the lava zone, you will get to the next rocky type zone with boulders smashing down the hills, and I assume another zone after or off to the side. I end up discovering a ton of the map this run, and it looks like I'm going to be able to clear it for sure on my second try. Until a boulder plus an untimely jump glitches me on top of the map, and now I'm unable to get off this plane of existence. 1 egg away, and I'm stuck. I try everything to get down and realize if I double jump on this boulder, I reach an unintended height and all of my ammo types become maxed out and my jetpack fuel is maxed out and I gain a shield. Some sort of god mode for developers, I would guess. I still don't know how to use my jetpack at this point. I've literally pressed every key on my keyboard and nothing seems to work. I do end up finding out that I can kill myself with explosion recoil damage from my own weapons, only to remember you respawn exactly in the same spot you were after dying in this game. So yeah, this run ended up ending in another meteor destroying the planet. But at least I learned a lot and am having fun. Time for the final run for this game this time, for sure. I got the same glitch again. Well, next time for sure. That next time did end up being a couple days later as I had some IRL festivities to attend to, but I was excited to come back to Nanosaur as a hungover 24-year-old ready to finally beat this masterpiece. And that's exactly what I did. I realized the ending zone I had reached prior just has 2 eggs in it, in one zone, for whatever reason. Maybe they ran out of development time or resources and just said, fuck it, call it a day, 2 eggs in one. I don't blame them because honestly, it's still a great, simple game with a fantastic aesthetic that really showcased 3D graphics on new PC hardware at the time. After you deliver the last egg, you're also warped up and shown an incubator housing those eggs to repopulate a healthy dinosaur population like as mentioned before. Nanosaur is a solid game. I don't know what else to say besides they should have made you collect 8 eggs instead of 5 because I'm giving this classic a sturdy 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Maybe there's more people than I realize who have a love for Nanosaur like I do, but if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like on it to let me know. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this one and go collect some eggs today.